This is the Kestrel Country Podcast, where we discuss the people, places, and events all around the Palouse. Well, today I'm going solo, and it shows because I already forgot to press record, and we did most of the podcast. So you get to hear take 2 with Lily Bell from Polished by Design. Am I getting that right now, Lily?
Polished Nail Design.
Polished Nail Design.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
So you get to hear interview number 2.
Yeah.
So Lily, welcome again.
Thank you.
Thanks for being a good sport about this. But we are having Lily on as a very young entrepreneur in Moscow, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
And our former marketing coordinator, Ava Driscoll, who we love, always had beautiful nails. And she would take great shots for Instagram, and if she wasn't there, it was always like, where's Ava? But the beautiful nails were due to Lily. And Lily got into this in high school.
Yes.
Okay, so Lily, first give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Okay.
Where you're from, how long you've been in Moscow.
Okay, so I've lived in Moscow my whole life.
Okay.
Went to Logos, went to Christchurch. This feels like this
is great. Round 2, right?
Went to Christchurch, and then I'm going auditing a few classes at NSA this fall, so very in the community. And so I started my nail business when I was a sophomore.
Okay.
School. Yeah.
And you have a little bit of entrepreneurial background with your family.
Yes.
So your parents?
Yes, my parents have owned Carpet Mill for about 20 years. I think, early 2000s, they bought it. And then my grandfather owned it before them.
Which is pretty fun.
Yes.
So it's been in the family. Do you know the total amount of time that's been? No, you don't. I put you on the spot.
I would guess 40 years. I'm not sure.
Well, what's kind of fun is back when I worked at Flowers Etc., which was in the mall, and I did that in high school. One of our weekly deliveries was to the Carpet Mill.
Was it?
They ordered weekly flowers, and just for their front desk,
That's awesome.
So it was really fun. But then since then, we've used Carpet Mill a lot for various carpet jobs, etc., flooring jobs. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I think Hero Merkel now does the flowers there.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
and they still do it. That's fantastic. So look for the fresh flowers when you're at Carpet Mill.
Yes, she has her business cards there.
Yeah, I know. Hero is another one of those who's started out and just grown her
too.
business. But tell us how you landed into nails.
Okay, so COVID is the answer. So December 2019, I started doing my own nails because I was, 15-year-old bored at home.
How'd you learn at that, and what were you doing on those? Was that gel that you were already diving into?
I was doing my own acrylics.
Okay. Wow.
I got a kit, I think, for Christmas, I believe.
Okay.
And just started doing them on my own. They would take a very, very long time. But just started doing them, and then my friends kind of, were like, you're doing your own nails. Can you do mine? I was like, sure. And then that really kind of escalated during COVID because all the nail shops were closed. And other people that I didn't know started asking, like, hey, can I come over to your house and get my nails done? And 20 minutes away, I lived near Genesee, and I was like, if you want to come, sure.
Yeah.
And so that's how I met Becca Shelton for the first time,
nice.
And those kind of girls, and they're great. But I was like, I don't know you, but you can
come on out.
House. Yeah. But it was pretty awesome, and so my mom went to cosmetology school for a little bit, and she was like, I think you'd be really good at this, and you seem like you have a little bit of talent for it, so I think you should go to nail school. And we actually went to church when I was younger with the owner of Mr. Leon's, the cosmetology school around here, Lisa Salisbury. And so we talked to her, and she was like, yeah, that seems like a great idea. You just need to be 16 and a half and have a high school diploma or GED. I forgot to mention that earlier.
Hey, see, this is a benefit.
Yes. So that was a whole other thing, trying to get my GED during COVID.
Okay, so how did you do that?
So I went on, go online, sign up for a test.
Because you were 16, so you were a sophomore?
Yes.
So you had 2 years yet left.
Yes.
Okay, so you're jumping ahead to get your GED.
Yes, just to go to nail school.
To get to nail school.
Yeah, I think because they're accredited, so you had to have a diploma. The state of Idaho says you can be past 10th grade and you can go, but they're accredited, so they say you have to have a GED or a high school diploma.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I remember I showed up to the U of I the day of to take my test, and I was knocking on the doors. I was there 15 minutes ahead. Nobody came.
What month was this?
This was April or May.
Okay, so things were still probably pretty shut down.
Yeah. Oh, very. Okay. Yeah. And they didn't email me saying it was canceled or moved. So I was like, I'm gonna show up.
Yeah.
And so I knock on the door. Nobody's answering. The time where I'm actually supposed to be sitting and taking tests comes around. I'm like, nobody's coming. So I call security.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'm on my way. And then this lady comes out and she's like, oh yeah, like we canceled tests. Like we moved them.
Oh no.
Sorry, you can't take it. And I was like, I have to have this in a month, and I do not know where to reschedule. And you guys didn't email me. You didn't call me. And so luckily, my sweet mom, she called LCSC. It was like, she scheduled this, and they didn't call or communicate at all that they weren't taking it. And so I ended up going down their day of to take it. The lady down
that
there
same day?
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did half of it one day, and then 2 days later took the other half.
Okay.
And
you passed?
I did pass.
Way to go.
Yes. Not with flying colors, but I got it done. I also didn't really study for it. I was like, it's just a G. Like, whatever. It's fine. Yeah. But, got that. Went to school. 400-hour program, so it's about 3 months long.
Okay.
Full time. And, got that done. Went to boards down in Boise.
Okay.
Took my test, passed, and then, got my license and opened up. Yeah.
And then opened up a shop. And then the shop address, it's downtown Moscow.
Yes, it's 116 3rd Street, Suite 205. And it's really hard to find. It's up these really skinny stairs, and then you go up there and you're like, I don't see the number. It's like, you got to go all the way to the back towards the bathrooms, turn left, and it's right there. It's like behind 2 walls. It's
very hidden in the back.
Yes.
Do you have a window or anything?
I have 2 windows, actually.
Hey.
Yeah, but I look over an alley, so I put up some of that rainbow film stuff on the window. It makes it look a lot better because it's just roofs with AC units and then an alley, and I'm like, that's not very pretty.
Yeah, but still natural light.
Yes, very. Yeah.
Okay, so you found your space and launched, but I mean that entails a lot of paperwork, a lot of filing to get a business up and running.
Yes,
and so you've been doing both sides of that with your running the business too.
Yep. So for nails, you have to have a cosmetology or license, so nail tech license, nail technician. And then you have to get a cosmetology establishment license so you literally have to draw the blueprints of your area of where the bathrooms are, the sink I talked about earlier,
Which
portable
we'll go
sink.
back. We'll discuss that here in a second.
Drew that in, and then you have to send that into the state, and they have to prove it, and then they'll send you, a little license.
Right.
And then you have to apply for a business license as well. So I have 3 licenses.
Yeah, I know. It's all the things. And then if you're selling any product, I don't know if you sell product, but
Not yet.
All the things.
In the work. No,
yeah. Okay, so tell us about your sink discovery.
Facebook people, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So I, in order to be able to license your area for doing nails, you have to have a sink. And that is a very hard thing to find in Moscow. Or
expensive to add plumbing.
Yeah.
Or impossible.
Yeah, because you're like, hey, landlord, can you add a sink to my space? Thanks, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But so I was looking, couldn't find anything. And we found a portable sink on Facebook. And it has 2 tanks, 7 gallons, and fresh water, gray water, and then it has a heater in it, so it pumps it through, makes it hot or cold.
It's perfect.
Plug it into the wall. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I have that, and so basically anywhere I go, I can take it, and I'll be able to use the space, which is really nice.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
love
you got into that space. Where are we? Fall of 2021. Is that right? 2020.
Yeah, September of 2020. Yeah.
And that's when you opened and launched.
Yes.
And you were going into your junior year of high school.
Yes.
So your hours in terms of when you're working and managing your business and managing school.
Yes. So I was working mostly Saturdays. I'd have occasional evenings because I only had a few clients at that point, building my clientele. But so minimal hours at that point, but just enough to cover the rent.
Right.
Is what I could get. So that's what I did. But
perfect,
I was subleasing too, so that made it easier to actually pay the rent because I was sharing. So I had 2 other girls in there that did eyelashes. Okay. Yeah.
And are they still in there right now, or is it just you right now?
No, so funny story. So they were like, we're going to nursing school. See ya. You're in charge of the lease. So I was like, I can't cover this by myself. And so I think we posted it on Facebook again.
Yep.
I was like, we need a subleaser. And this guy, I don't know if he was part of internet business or I don't know. But he was like, yeah, I'll cover half the rent. and I don't need to move in. I just need the address for my online business.
Oh.
And he lives in Lewiston, so I was like, why don't you get something in Lewiston? And he needed the mail.
Yeah.
Because we have a mailbox.
Yeah.
And he was like, can you bring it to me? And I was like, live in Lewiston. No, I'm not. I'm happy to, I don't know if you have a mail key or not. I'm happy to leave it in the space with your key, but it was so weird. But so I had a whole space to myself. I only had to pay half the rent.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was really nice, actually.
And so that got you through so you could maintain your space.
Yes.
And now it's full time, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
A little bit more than full time. But yeah, so 9 to 5:30 Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, because people have time to get their nails on Saturdays.
Yeah, it's true for people who are working through the rest of the week.
Exactly.
So
and
you
then,
take Monday off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm able to get my banking done and errands
great.
done with
Yeah.
places that aren't open on Saturdays or Sundays.
Oh, perfect.
Yep. So I go and do that.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And have you enjoyed that business side of it?
Yes. Most of it,
Most
except
of it?
for taxes.
Yeah.
I don't. I haven't quite figured that out, but I have my parents to help me with that.
Yeah.
So I've accounting and stuff like that I do enjoy. It's just like the taxes and the forms, and
I know.
it's all the legal stuff.
You don't want to mess it up, and so it can add a level of anxiety on top of it.
Yeah, trying to find like numbers, like account numbers, and you're like, I don't know where to get that.
Yeah.
I'll look for it. But so I have enjoyed it. And social media stuff isn't quite my strong suit, but I actually have 2 interns right now.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
Oh, so are you teaching them in terms of the business side? Are they learning nails?
Both.
All of it?
Yes.
Okay.
So they're learning the business side of things, like marketing and accounting. We haven't quite, it's only been like a month or 2 they're doing it, so we haven't quite gotten the accounting side.
Yeah.
But they're learning to do nails and all that. And so, one of my, Bridget Mongery, she made my my first reel the other day, and it did so well. I was like, Bridget, this is magic. Like, you did so good. I appreciate this so much. But
Bridget wrote an article for us on the
she did?
Yeah, on the most recent Kestrel Post.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
But your social media in other ways has kind of just been word of mouth, people posting, tagging you.
Yes. Yeah. Mentioning me in their stories with pictures, and very much word of mouth is how I've gotten my clientele. So
and you're full now.
Oh, yeah, full clientele, closed clientele, which is awesome. But at the same time, I feel like, can I get my nails? I'm like, no, I'm so sorry. So cancellation, I'll let you know, but like, I have a list.
So then if you are working on these interns, would that allow you to expand and help the clientele? Or would they hopefully spin off and grow into their own business?
We've talked about it a little bit. They do have to go to school, so they can't just shadow and get their license, which is... I want to talk to the state about that. I don't know how you do that, but I want to talk to the state about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've been interning, and I think one of them has talked about going to nail school and like taking it seriously. And one's just like, I want to learn how to do nails and learn the business side. I'm like, great. If I had this opportunity when I was 16, I'd do it too.
Yeah.
And so I think we've talked about joining forces and doing 2 tables in one studio. And that's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And the part you didn't see.
Take one.
Yes. About, making a nail salon with rented booths and maybe different little rooms.
Yeah. And then can you explain the different setup that is versus,
what I have now?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily what you have now, but in terms of either hiring people versus everybody kind of running your own business.
Oh, yeah. So this is my theory that I think you'll get better quality services if you are your own business rather than being an employee for that kind of thing. Not saying, employees give, bad service, but I just think
they will have more invested in it because it's
their own skin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And more ownership of it. And in terms of like real estate, the agents are that way.
Yeah.
They're sole proprietors hanging their license. And it's not always that setup. It can change, but that's our setup,
Just kind of under a name, but it's like your own thing.
So they're hanging it with a company, a brokerage, and then they are a sole proprietorship in terms of taxes and in terms of how you can run your business. So it gives you freedom.
Yeah. So we talked about earlier, 3 to 5 year plan. Is to open like I don't know whether they call it professionals mall or just something with a bunch of little rooms, and have everything except hair. I might have one hairdresser, like that'd be convenient.
Yeah.
But like estheticians, waxers, nails, all those things, I think would be maybe a massage person. I don't know.
Right.
But just something like that in a kind of more private experience, because I feel like, especially with my business, I've noticed from going to school to having my own space, you develop deeper relationships with your clientele if you have a private room that you can have a private conversation in.
Gotcha.
Which I didn't realize how valuable that was until I had my own space. And I feel like they're more my friends than my client. Like, they're still my clients.
Because you're seeing them every couple weeks.
Exactly. And having and we can talk about anything under the sun.
Well, and you mentioned a lot of your clientele came from gyms and stuff, like through the NIAC,
Yes,
right?
I love
and
the
so
NIAC
that kind of makes sense. If people are on a regular basis, they're used to going to, have someone coaching them or leading a class.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of probably a very similar experience.
Yes. Yep. And so I've really enjoyed having that private experience. So I think, providing a space that does that for other professions, I think would be awesome, because like hair places, it's mostly an open room with, like 6 booths, and you can't really have a private conversation. I mean, you can, but when you're sitting in a hair salon and you're like, what are they talking about, kind of thing. So I think if you had that, private experience with your hairdresser, I think it would provide better quality service and better quality relationships with your hairdresser.
For the overall end result.
Exactly.
And then in terms of what kind of space you're looking for, do you have an ideal of what that would look like? Or, so your artistic side, I'm sure, comes out in more than just your nails.
Yes. Yeah. So I've looked at a space, but it didn't quite work out. But it was definitely like, it had sinks. It used to be, I think Spirit Springs used to be there.
Okay.
And it is like a horseshoe kind of shape with all these little rooms with sinks in them.
Have your ideal setup.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have taken a lot of work to get it to where it needed. Yeah, because it was all carpet. And I was like, why is this all carpet?
Yeah.
But I think something like that would be great. And that's maybe not even 5 years, maybe later down the road, because that is not around here.
Yeah, so you would be starting from scratch to try to create something.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think that would be a really cool thing too. I've always had it in the back of my brain for about a year.
Yeah.
So I just keep my eye open for things like that.
And you love owning the business and pushing in on all these different ideas.
Yeah. So end goal would be to own something like that and not have to do nails full time. I love doing nails full time.
Right.
But, carpal tunnel's a thing, and I don't really want that.
Yeah.
And
is it pretty hard on your hands to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, 8.5 hours a day.
Right.
Like this.
In this minuscule.
Exactly.
Kind of work.
Yeah. And on your eyes and your back and everything. Like,
Gotcha.
It's not hard work. It's just tedious.
Right. In the position of awkward, you're probably just all hunched over. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
And I think that, just from the family I come from, it's like I'd like to own the business and kind of run it and help others, get their feet under them for their business. I think that'd be really cool.
And then you only offer gels.
Yes.
And the reason for that, which you explained earlier.
Don't like acrylics at all. They're just longer to do, and the smell. Have you been in?
Well, I've been in a nail salon. Yeah,
it's so
potent.
bad.
It's very potent.
Yes,
I remember. I think we were in, after a baby at one point, getting a pedicure or whatever, and it's like, oh, is this bad for the baby?
Yeah, no, it's so strong. Yeah,
yeah.
And so in the building I am, on 3rd Street, there's no ventilation, like fans or air conditioning, anything. And so my neighbors would be like, "What are you doing in there?" And I'm like, nails, I promise. Because you can smell. I mean, it's literally a little dish like this big, and you can smell it from out there. And I'd only have one going.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need to find something else because also it's a lot more filing to do them.
Okay.
It's a lot more work to get them the shape you want, and gel because it self levels, and so you don't have to do as much work. Yeah.
So you can probably push more people through and maintain a bigger client list too.
Yes, because they don't. I would take probably 2.5 to 3 hours on acrylics.
Okay.
But also I was just starting out.
Right.
So some people can whip out a set in 45 minutes. I could not do that at that point. And so I wanted to find something that it was quicker for me, easier on your nails, and just had a better result, honestly.
Yeah.
And I feel like the clients I have aren't looking for that really fake look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. It's like if you want, coffin nails, you do you. But a lot of people, the clientele I have, just want something that enhances what they already have.
Right, and will probably stay there for a while.
Exactly. And so the gel does that. So these are my real nails. It's just like
you just put gel on them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just fill them like acrylics.
Well, way to go. Yeah. We're going to be running out of our time here in a little bit, and hopefully not out of Christina's battery.
Okay.
But I want to know, what's your favorite aspect of the business?
Oh. I don't know.
You can't pick one.
There's so many. I would say the best part of I don't know if this is like the reaction you get when you finish the nails and people are like, oh my gosh, I love these. I think that is my favorite part, and building relationships with my clients, I think, is some of my favorite part. Like, yeah, it's nice to make money at what you do, but I appreciate the relationships over the money, and I don't like doing the accounting stuff in Texas, so it's like, I'll take the people. Like,
enjoy the people.
Yes, yep, and social media is okay. Like, I think my interns are going to help me like that more.
Right. Well, and if they're taking that off your shoulders, you know, or even just taking it off of your brain, you know.
Yeah, because I don't need to do it.
Right.
It's nice to post occasionally, so people, because a lot of people come in and say, oh, I really like these nails you do. You know, can we change this little bit about this design? I'm like, sure, great.
Right.
I've done it already. I can do it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, and people are so visual, you know.
Yes.
So whether you're designing a wedding or floral bouquet or whatever it might be, a home and a layout, you know, paint colors, it's so helpful to actually have pictures to go from.
Yeah, and of what the person you're going to has already done.
Yeah.
So you have an expectation for what you're going to get.
Right. You know their style, you know what they like, what they're really good at.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's helpful that way for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, Lily, thank you for coming, and thank you for doing it twice.
Yes.
We appreciate
Anytime.
that. Yes. And so if you want to find her work, we aren't 100% sure of your Instagram right now.
Let me look it up.
So while she's grabbing her Instagram, do you have a Facebook page too?
I don't have Facebook.
Just Instagram.
Yes, because I don't. I keep shouting out Facebook, but I don't actually know how to use it. Just Marketplace.
Okay.
So I just have Instagram for it. Let me look it up. Hold on.
And you are full on your client list right now, so you'd have to get put on a wait list.
Yes. Which is, I hate
a
saying
great,
that.
No, it's a great problem to have.
It's a good problem, but it's a problem. And so
or they can get ideas if they go to, okay, so you want to tell us?
Yes. So it's polished.by.lil.
Okay.
And
I'll put it in the notes on the podcast too.
Yes. Yep. Well, because I'm always like, I don't know which one it is, because I've had two, because I had one when I was in nail school and one now.
Gotcha.
But this is, here, I'll just hold it up.
There you go.
That is my nail account.
Well, perfect. Well, Lily, thank you so much.
Yes,
and
you're welcome.
Good
Thank
luck
you for
on
having
this
me on.
year. So 2 years in and going into year 3.
Yes, which is so weird.
Yeah.
It's like, I just graduated in my 3rd year of owning a business. It's crazy. Yeah. I couldn't have done it without my clients, my parents, and so I'm very thankful for them.
Way to go.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you.